Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel called zuzanareacts, where I learn all things Bharat, but with your help, and I just share my Slovak Central European point of view. Today is a part 3 of this Nora Fatehi Ranveeer show podcast, which I find super cool and super fascinating. I so far have really enjoyed Nora. She comes across very sincere, like actually a very nice person that can stand her ground. And yeah, and now we are coming to the part 3. But before we jump into the part 3 of today's video,
please like this video and click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification. Thank you so much for your support.
Okay, so we left off where they were talking about fame being a trauma response and like how children should stay children for as long as they can. And, you know, it really deeply resonated with me because I wanted to grow up so bad. I was the funniest one. The way we classify ourselves in Slovakia, that I think that you are like at a 14-year-old, you're considered like a citizen. So I was like going around a house and telling her at the age of 14 or 12, I don't know, you guys, I don't remember, so long ago. But, you know, like before even getting, you know, we have like the national ID, which I think you get, gosh, I'm so old, at 18. But I know that there was this like, you know, I'm not a child, I'm already a citizen and I'm not an adult. And I used to, oh my gosh, I used to do makeup so heavy that when I'm looking at myself back then, I cringe, but I just wanted to be so grown up. And it's just exactly as Nora had said earlier, like you're going to pay bills, you're going to have responsibilities, so enjoy it while it lasts. I'm not complaining. Like, I think, you know, like the life journey is beautiful and you get to learn so much. But yeah, I think the childhood is a good thing. If you can have it, please do.
Crazy. So some of these kids, I'm like, shut up, stay being a kid and enjoy it while it lasts, because you're gonna have to pay taxes and bills when you get older.
Yeah. The moment you're 18 or 22, you have that wake up call. And then you really, really, really miss being a kid.
Yeah, I had mine when I was 16. That was my wake up call. I'm like,
began working.
Yeah, my first job.
You're also 93?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 93.
I'm 92, but yeah, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
kind of same thing.
But it's fine, give or take.
Yeah. when you meet people in that same age range, at least for me nowadays, I connect very deeply with that specific age bracket because we've all seen the same quantum of trauma.
Yeah.
In different ways.
Are you traumatized too?
Yeah, of
course. Oh my God, me too. Oh my God, I have a lot of trauma.
I don't think one can chase fame without trauma being the precursor, or you're born in like a fame-oriented environment. It's one of the two. There has to be something that makes you want to have this kind of attention on yourself this much.
For sure. You want validation. You want constant validation. You want, yeah, it's the word validation. That's what it is.
Did you want to be famous when you were a kid?
Yeah. Right? Yeah, of course.
Same,
yeah,
same thing.
It was so scary how much I wanted it. I forced the whole school to make me famous.
I've not met a single like famous person who doesn't say that.
Yeah. Oh, like I have never met someone who's like, no, I've never wanted fame, and then I woke up one day and wanted to be famous. It's always like bachpan se. Always. Like I remember vividly seeing, I don't even know where these tapes are anymore. I was asking my mom the other day, but homemade videotapes, right? Recording tapes. And I remember seeing my mom or someone, my dad or someone from the family recording me in a family function, like a wedding or an engagement or whatever. And I'm in the middle of the crowd demanding everyone's attention and watching me dance. And if I don't get the claps and all that, I'll start crying. And if my mom drags me from that center, I'll throw a huge fit, like, and throw myself on the floor like a crazy person. And then I'm only happy when I run back to the circle and I'm like dancing. Everyone's like, and then I'm like, yeah. So that's scary. I was 3. 4. Like, what was I doing asking for validation from the crowd? Oh man.
Story of every social media star, at least, and generally again every famous person. I have met some people who kind of becoming famous who say that they're not enjoying it and kind of want to leave, and they were always the people who didn't want the fame.
So what did they want exactly? The success?
Probably they didn't know what they wanted.
That's true. I agree. There are people like that. But also, that a lot of people who are famous also have the personality trait that wants them to be famous. Like you have it in you where you not want the attention, but want the admiration. Sometimes not all attention is good attention, right? But you want the admiration and you want the claps. That's a personality trait. I don't know what you call that. I hope it's not narcissism, because then we're
about narcissism. Any famous person goes to, we're probably narcissists, dude.
Oh my God, I don't know what it is, but it's a personality trait.
Two narcissists can't date each other.
I heard.
And two narcissists can be really good friends also. Because
Really?
you understand each other's bullshit.
Interesting. I don't think it's, look.
Okay, I'm just going to, I think personally from my experience, I think that there's an unhealed, like you feel unworthy. And that's the thing. I feel like there something must have happened along your childhood where you felt, this is my theory, where you felt unworthy. Because if you have a healthy psychological hygiene and operations, you don't need validation. And the thing with validation is, I'm just going to take a totally different angle, is that I think when you're young, you need someone. This is what I observed during my life, but more from like the professional angle, because I never really cared what anyone thought of me. I don't know how people always care that much. I mean, I think with YouTube, it kind of have maybe slightly shifted, because I don't understand why you have to be really horrible, appalling person to someone else. But I feel like I've always stood very strong and I know who I am. But I feel like people that require the validation and attention, they have something missing, like the part of the self-worth. So back to the story. So when let's say you're starting a job and you're learning, right? You don't know if you're doing well enough. And in school, you get grades. But in professional life, it might be tricky, right? You enter adulthood, you enter people not being honest with you, etc. You don't know. But and this is where you, I think, require validation. So when you get the validation for maybe a year or two, when you're a junior or 3, you start feeling maybe better about yourself, right? Like it's connected to your self-worth, and say like because it shows that you're competent, therefore you're worthy, therefore you're contributing to society. But there should come a point in anyone's life where they have been through enough in their life that they already know. And it happened in my career. Like I've been observing this, and like you need to learn the ropes. Like things are, the part of advertising I worked at was super difficult. Like one job I've entered when I was still kind of like juniorish, I was like, man, I'm never gonna like get through this. And it just felt incredibly complex and complicated and impossible to do and impossible to manage. I thought I'm going to be fired. But lo and behold, I created a career in that. And, after a number of years, you've been through certain projects, certain type of clients, you build your confidence. And that sadly, we sometimes, not everyone, connects their worth with their work. And I think maybe in the kind of entertainment industry is like you get the self-worth, which should be inherent. They're knowing that you're worthy just because you're divine from the source. And you get that validation from the outside sources, which is it's called external locus of control versus internal locus of control. And I would love if we're all working on ourselves and becoming more self-centered, and because if you're confident in who you are and what your decisions are like and what you really are about, and your values, and what you do, why you do. And obviously you come into situations where you perhaps don't know why you've acted the way you acted, but it's normal. Like we shouldn't really judge ourselves. We should observe and then learn from it. And that's it. No judgment. And evolve. And that is going to develop your, what they call an internal locus of control. So your self-worth. And when you have enough self-worth, when they say a lion does not turn around when he sees like sheep, barking, whatever. You're getting what I'm trying to say. So I feel like with that sort of validation that they're talking about, I think that there is some void within them when it comes to their worth that they're trying to fill in. That's my theory. That's my observation from people throughout years and years and decades.
there's borderline narcissism. Hey, I understand that, to be a star and all that, and be okay with fame. It's there a little bit. But if you're aware of it, then you know how to control it. I think there's another personality trait that a performer has. I don't know if it's the same for like a social media star or maybe for an actor also. But the ability to put on a show
and create an illusion.
Yeah, and have the audience kind of mesmerized and gravitate towards you and really like enjoy what you're doing and have their attention. There's a personality trait. I'm still trying to figure out what that is, but not all stars have that also, by the way.
Have you ever read your own astrological chart by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay, we just had an astrologer on the show recently.
Okay.
I don't know how deeply into. So he was a Vedic astrologer and he taught me
What does that mean?
Like the Indian system.
Okay.
Of like reading the Hindu system of reading it. And the way he explained it, like Atharva, who's like our producer, he's a very like scientific thinking.
Right.
And all of us were convinced after that episode that guy was that good a speaker. But there was also a lot of truth in what he was saying.
What did he say which was for you a game changer?
So I've been exposed to Vedic astrology a lot because of the show, people I met, friends, exes. Like, so I kind of had an idea about it. This guy was just able to, you can really break down the personality of someone like through that chart because it's very, very detailed. But you need to know your birth time. And do you know your birth time?
No, I'm gonna ask. Yeah.
But it's pretty accurate, at least from a personality perspective.
Okay.
Like
so this is quite deep. This is not like your because you asked me astrology, you just wake up and you see what does Aquarius is, what is this? It's not that, it's more deep.
All that's also deep, but that's like kind of generalizing it. It's like the trailer of the movie. The movie would be these deep astrological charts.
Okay,
I
crazy.
believe there are Arabic and Gregorian charts also which have their own systems.
Interesting.
But you need to be educated in that. It's all based on the same thing. It's based on astronomy, position of stars.
Yeah.
So basically in the Vedic chart, they draw out 12 sections of the sky.
Okay.
And they call it 12 houses, and each of those represents a bunch of things. And depending on where the planets are placed, you can kind of tell something of the personality of the person or their relationship with the father, their mother, the children, their wife, etc., husband, etc. The first house, the core one, represents who you are on the inside. Like, what is your personality?
Interesting.
So mine is something called Rahu.
Okay,
which is a planet that doesn't actually exist. There are two planets in the whole system which don't exist. So they don't count Neptune and Uranus, but they count Rahu and Ketu, which are not real planets. But it's also, I mean, there's theories about what Rahu and Ketu are. Some people say it's like a black hole around the solar system.
Interesting.
But if Rahu's in your first house, who you are on the inside is mystery and illusion. And usually with people in media, it's about illusion. We were talking about something about illusion. You said that trait after the narcissism conversation.
I was wondering about what that personality trait is that makes you captivate the audience and have their attention.
Have you seen
and perform?
The Spider-Man movie with Mysterio?
No.
So in Spider-Man, there's a villain called Mysterio. His superpower is that he's able to create very elaborate illusions and it confuses Spider-Man.
Okay.
That's exactly what a media career is on many levels. Whether it's as simple as altering an Instagram post or caption to look a certain way, or acting, where whole body language alters itself.
And you embody a different character?
We're all shapeshifters.
For sure, yeah. Definitely.
That's the core of this career. You get paid to be a shapeshifter.
For sure, yeah.
So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if even you had Rahu, honestly, because it's related to fame.
Yeah.
It gives you potential to get fame. There are other planets, I think even Venus is related to fame, but Venus is in the first house, I think, is also related to the luxurious aspect of fame.
Interesting.
Yeah, like
glam and stuff?
Yeah, like someone like Kylie Jenner would be like a very perfect Venus in the first house. That's what I think. I don't know shit about astrology.
No, but it kind of makes sense. But interesting. I love that.
You should get your like chart read once just to like know about yourself. And again, the core of astrology is that it all can be changed through hard work and good karma. But this is what's likely to happen. That's why I've opened myself up to it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. It's good to be open to receive new information and learn. I feel like I was telling you initially in the beginning of our podcast, like we have to be alert and we have to gain knowledge, especially in our industry. And if you're a public figure.
What's the most difficult alone time thought that you have?
It's hard because most of the time I'm alone. So, and I've wired my brain, which might not be a good thing, but since the age of 16, even when I'm alone, I'm just thinking about what's next. What do I do next? Okay, what do I do? Okay, I gotta do this project, that project, this is how my brain is constantly. I've not had moments to sit and have empty thoughts or never. Like even right now we're talking, but I'm also in the back of my head thinking about, okay, what do I got to do for the next couple of weeks that is going to be, it's going to help me in my career for the next 1 year. Like I'm constantly thinking, calculating, doing this, it's insane. My brain works in a different level altogether. I don't give time for myself to think about, oh, I'm feeling sad today because this boy didn't message me, or, oh my God, I missed my best friend's birthday. I just don't think. It takes me a long time to get into a situation. Like, recently I was doing an interview, and in that interview, in the middle of it, I'm looking outside of the window and I'm reminiscing about my past and about like the struggle of Bombay when I first came and how I might need therapy. How did I come to that conclusion in the middle of an interview? That's because I don't give time for my brain to process things at all. I don't even process my success sometimes. It's really crazy. Like when I said to you that what bothers me the most is that I have to constantly prove myself. And one of the reasons, or the main reason, is because only I know all the sacrifices I've made in my life. Only I know all the sacrifices I made in my personal life. And when I look at all those sacrifices, I'm like, boss, like I did all this for my dream, and I still am having a hard time to get people to be convinced, or to get people to see me, or to give me chances and opportunities and to believe in me. And when I look at all those sacrifices I made, I'm like, oh, damn, that's crazy. I'll never get that time back. I'll never get those moments back. I've missed so many things. There was times where I haven't seen my family in years. There's a whole, gap of time that's gone. Like I've missed my friends' birthdays. When I talk about my friends, they're not like friends or normal friends. These are like family. I grew up with them. I went to school with them. They're like my sisters. I miss their marriages, their birthdays. I've missed moments in life with them, their childbirths, their first childbirth, their engagements, their anniversaries. I've missed my brother's wedding. I've missed the birth of his sons. I've missed moments with my mom. I've missed moments with my other brother. I've missed their graduations. I've missed their birthdays. I've missed everything in the span of 10 years chasing my dream.
Wow.
And thankfully, it's not been wasted. I have made a name. I am successful. I've broken barriers. I've broken stereotypes. I've inspired a lot of people. But
is it enough for you?
It's never going to be enough. It's not.
Can I just pause here? I really like how she's evaluating what she has done to sacrifice where she is, because I think that perhaps, to those that might be interested in fame where they are young, I don't think anyone even comprehends the amount of work and the sacrifices one has to do to get to where they are. And the question is if this is what you really want out of life, right? And if this is worth it for you. For me, it wouldn't be, right? Like everyone has different values. That is not me being judging her or anything like that. I'm just explaining to her that you have to be a kind of certain personality. But the question is if it's really, really worth it. Like if you need it that bad. And it's, I think at the end of the day, we come here alone, we live alone. You're only ever going to answer yourself. And some people are master at lying to themselves, but you got to come back to this world. And what lessons you did not learn, you'll have to repeat. The school that's called the earth, it does not have cheating. You have to learn your lessons. So I think the question is like, how hard does someone want to go something like that? But my other point with this is that whenever you see people successful, you wouldn't have even dreamt of what I had to go through, experience. And this is why I always will preach kindness and stop being judgmental and stop being harassing on YouTube, and really reflect on what kind of person you are and what kind of person you want to be. Because, it's always the people that don't do work. They love to criticize. So, just realize there is too much work behind what people that are like her level or Ranveer level have gone through, and they had to do that. They will never tell you. And you might think that this is easy, and you feel like because you've seen a couple of shows, even if you've seen 300 shows of Ranveer, you have no idea who he is. So it is so out of order for anyone going online and preaching and judging. It's totally out of order. And because even so many things about me get misconstrued, like people think that they understand my body language. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. I've recently watched a video about like a CIA agent, and he was talking, even CIA, they don't really look at the facial expressions because they're not that actually important and can be misinterpreted in millions of ways. So think about what you wish, but just be kind to yourself, but also to others, and don't judge people you know nothing about. I guess I would like to leave as a message, but let's continue.
Like I'm here talking about going global. I just signed a global record deal with Warner America and Warner Global, and I'm working towards my international career. I want to be global, but of course that's going to come with so many sacrifices. Again, I might have to sacrifice my personal life, which I am currently doing. I mean, I don't focus on my personal life at all. I don't take vacations. I don't date. I don't go partying. I don't.
You think it'll take away from your time?
Yeah, 100%.
That's why you don't date?
Oh, no. Maybe it might take away my attention, my drive, my fire, because in order to reach the success I'm reaching and do the things that I do, it requires full, undivided attention. It requires that.
Have you had a bad experience with someone?
Yeah, of course I did. Yeah.
Is that the reason you don't want to date now?
Probably.
I'm just laughing because I love how Ranveer goes did you have a really bad experience with someone? Well, of course, we all had, right? But he was I love his concern. It's hilarious. But let's continue.
I'm not going to say there's only one reason. I'm not going to say it's only because I want to be focused on my career. Yes, I want to be focused entirely on my career, and I want to make everything come true, and I want to be super successful, and I want to prove so many people wrong. I have that fire in me. But a part of it is because I had a terrible experience with someone which was
cheated on?
It's not like that. No, it's worse. It's
worse.
Way worse. Yeah, it's way worse because people are always getting cheated on, by the way, on a daily basis.
I don't know.
So it's not that.
Okay,
yeah.
I don't know what you've been through.
Yeah.
Just as a friend.
Yeah, for sure.
You've won the breakup.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I have won the breakup or whatever that was. I don't know if it was a breakup. It was just a very weird experience. I don't wish that on anyone. So it's not your generic, oh, this person cheated, this person broke up. No, it's something deeper, darker, scarier.
Wow.
It was.
Someone conned you?
It was, I wish it was that. It was terrible. I don't wish that on anyone. But I got out of that safe, alive. And after that, I was like, no, I need to protect my aura. I need to protect my spirit. I need to protect me. So now I have a barrier around me, and it's very hard to get through that. Very hard. You have to be, I don't know what, to get through to that. And I prefer that. I prefer because I want to be safe. I sacrifice so much for my career. Why would I allow some all human to destroy that for me? So that's why I created this barrier, and I don't focus on all this. Instead, I work really hard to make my fans happy, to make my friends and family proud of me, and to prove all the haters wrong.
Do you believe in love?
Yeah, of course I do.
Like romantic
I believe in love. I believe in God. I believe in all these nice things. I don't believe in humans.
No, that's sad.
It's true.
Do you believe in the goodness of men?
I believe in giving them chances and trying, but I don't believe that they're perfect. Yes, definitely believe. And also women are crazy. They're not perfect either. But I don't believe in humans. That's why I use the word humans.
We had Nina Gupta on the show, and she said something interesting. She said that both men and women need to realize that they need each other.
For sure. They do need each other.
That's true? Maybe another way of...
Yeah, this idea of I don't need anybody and feminism and not. I don't believe in this shit at all. In fact, I think feminism fucked up our society completely. And the idea of being inherently completely independent and not having to get married and have kids and not having the male and female dynamics in the home where the man is a provider and a breadwinner and the woman is a nurturer. I don't believe in people who think that that's not true. I think women are nurturers. Yes, they should go to work and have their own life and be independent, but to a certain extent, they should also be ready to take on the role of being a mother and a wife and a nurturer, just like a man should be ready to take a role of being a provider and a breadwinner and a father and a husband. I believe totally on this. We call it old school, traditional way of thinking. I think I call it the normal way of thinking. It's just feminism fucked it up a little bit and made us really excited about this whole freedom and liberation and everyone's equal. We are all equal in more sentimental things, but in societal things, we are not equal. I think everyone plays their role.
Yeah. Another part of the Nina Gupta podcast was about how I think she was basically talking about the nature of the uterus and how it actually changes the physiology of the human body and just the presence of the uterus and female hormones and the kind of hormonal shifts you guys have over 1 month is so drastic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's not built for modern society, which is actually built for men,
Mhm,
because
mhm.
jobs became a thing during the Industrial Revolution. This 9 to 5 thing.
Yes, yeah. This happened after the Industrial Revolution. Yeah, you're right.
Because
Yes.
men's hormonal cycles change over a day and
Mhm.
women's hormonal cycles change over a month. I'm not a girl, so I don't have perspective. But I sent it to some of my smartest female friends, some of whom are entrepreneurs, some of whom are actors, everyone successful. All of them agreed with it. So this is so true. In fact, can you play the video actually?
I don't mind. Let's see it.
Okay. So have a look at this, okay?
Female physiology was not designed for the 8 to 5 grind. This is because our hormones operate on completely different cycles than men. Women are on a 28-day cycle and men are on a 24-hour hormone cycle. The traditional 8 to 5 workday grind is designed to accommodate men's testosterone levels, and women's hormones aren't even slightly taken into consideration when it comes to this schedule. Here's how it works. Men wake up with a surge of testosterone every morning, which slowly declines throughout the day. This makes them ready to get up and get after it first thing in the morning, day after day. Women, on the other hand, are on a 28-day hormone cycle. We experience 4 phases within our month-long menstrual cycle, have different hormonal patterns every single day of our cycle, and only get 1 spike of testosterone, which occurs during ovulation. Women also need more sleep than men, are naturally more creative, and need variation in their schedules to accommodate their daily hormonal shifts. Trying to get most women to thrive in corporate settings is like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, and our bodies feel it. It's no wonder we don't fit in and easily burn out when living a corporate lifestyle. You're not broken, lazy, or not strong enough. Your hormones were just made for something different. If you're feeling like you need a slower schedule, need more time to yourself, and want a way out of the 8 to 5, nothing is wrong with you. Women are strong and capable of so many things, but we have to remember just because we can survive something doesn't mean we were made for it.
Period. I totally agree with it. Sorry, I'm just seeing the comments. Interesting. I find this very interesting. What are your thoughts on this?
Honestly, I'm trying to understand it better at this stage, because a lot of things that you process about the world as a guy are in binary. So it's either black or white. And as you grow older as a guy, you realize that nuance is a thing.
There's a gray section. Yeah.
So
for sure.
at this point, I'm just trying to better my nuance, man. And I'm trying to listen to smart and successful female friends of mine. So I'll throw the ball back at you.
It's funny because you might ask all these successful female friends of yours, and each one might have their own opinion. Some of them are still stuck in that feminism wave I was talking to you about, which has been hammered into our heads and our upbringing through TV, through music, through other female role models, et cetera, et cetera. I am talking about the Western upbringing, not here. Okay, here it's still a little bit less than how extreme it is in the West, right? That we grew up seeing visuals, hearing audios, being told that, patriarchy is bad, and men who are not allowing you to, be a feminist, they're bad, and men are bad, and the society is bad if it doesn't allow you to struggle in life and work 9 to 5. And
just so I'm going to quickly stop here, because the here you can clearly see a difference between like the culture I grew up and which is Slovakia, which is Central Europe, and the West, as in the US, the Canada. I'm not going to even group BBC there, BBC, the UK there, because I grew up with none of that. I grew up with thinking we are a very matriarchal society, whatever a woman says goes. So the whole feminism is really, you call us West, but we call America West, or for us the West would be America, like the North America, UK, France, perhaps Germany. So people in this end of the world, they don't, you get these ideas, you get all of that even here, but you got, and this is why, for example, I get annoyed when you keep on generalizing, because I feel like there is zero understanding about this region and how it plays from the Indian point of view. No point to that's not here for me to offend anyone, but I'm reading the comments and I get many times question, where's Slovakia, what's Slovakia, etc. And then I get attacked for being the white person from the West, where I'm like, you guys have zero idea what you're even talking about. So this is what I say, like, about being non-judgmental, and then when you're passing a comment, just try to maybe think about like what knowledge you might be lacking. It's totally different to what I'm doing. I'm just reacting to videos. I'm just sharing my thoughts. I'm not I'm just like observing, so you get an insight into how a person like an example of a person like that from Central Europe kind of thing. I'm not, but the comments come across very, very judgmental without verifying anything and without having really true understanding. And I'm not here to criticize India or anything. I'm here to learn about India through your help, which has been really super helpful. And I've really so far been enjoying this experiment. But I think that sometimes it's self-reflection in the comments is really missing. But let's continue.
You should not want to be a mother and have kids and get married. That's all old school. And so that kind of mentality has been hammered subconsciously in the last, I'd say, 20 years. Funny enough, in the last 2-3 years, I'm seeing videos like this now crop up. I'm seeing people talk more on podcasts about how the society has gone to the extreme side of feminism, and it's destroyed the family unit. It's destroyed the feminine energy of a woman to want to be caring and nurturing and create a household, and this extreme need of wanting to compete with a man. And if you don't compete with a man, then you're not adequate. These things people are starting to question more.
I mean, as a guy, I can only speak from my experience. I've dated a couple of girls who were feminists, and there was a lot of differences between the two.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, her career wasn't moving forward very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And my experience there with her was negative.
Interesting.
The other one, her career was moving forward, and she was also a feminist. And both would lecture me about where they thought I was going wrong. Sure, and I'd take it from both. But with the good one, she would lecture me from a place of love and nurturing.
Interesting.
With the one who's intense to deal with, she would compete with me a lot.
So do you notice that this has similarity to religion? That religion is a great thing, but when it becomes radicalized and extreme, it's dangerous. So feminism is the same thing. Feminism inherently on the base level is great. The foundation of it is great. I also, advocate for women's rights. I also want girls to go to school. I also believe in all these things. However, when feminism becomes radical, which is what has happened in the last 15 to 20 years, it's dangerous for the society. And now the society and people are seeing the repercussion of this radicalization of feminism. Families are suffering, kids are suffering, women's mental health is suffering. People, it's almost like what is happening right now is that, you shake a Coke bottle and then you open it and it goes. So this is happening right now. And people are fed up. People are tired. People are having immense anxiety. They don't understand. It's because they've been in this dog race. When then they're not meant for this dog race. Now people want to be in their soft girl era. People want to be in their feminine energy. People want to find themselves. So there's a lot of epiphanies happening right now.
Do you think the right man can unlock a woman's true feminine?
Yeah, for sure.
You see this with your friends, at least? With yourself?
Yeah, 100%. Yes. Like, for example, I'll just speak about myself. I have a masculine trait about me for sure because of how I've kind of had to be in survival mode since day one. And I've kind of unleashed that part of me. So dominant, dictator, taking control, can give manly vibes sometimes. However, I need to do that to be able to be good. I have to take care of people. I'm the breadwinner of my family, as I was telling you. I take care of my friends. I take care of everybody. So I am the head, of the family. So inherently, you kind of give a bit of masculine energy with that. With the right man who knows how to take care of me, who's a provider, who's a supporter and a protector, I will automatically surrender and feel safe. Because obviously, with the space that I'm in, I don't feel safe. So I have to create this kind of energy to be safe, right? With the right man, like I said, with those characteristics I mentioned, automatically your feminine energy kicks in. Automatically.
Preach. That is so effing on point. On point. There is nothing more or less I could add to that. That is exactly what it is. And in the West, I don't know what it is like in India, but there is definitely crisis of masculinity. The one other thing that I want to add is it's a tricky thing because if you want to be successful as a woman, it's like what she has said, there are a lot of sacrifices. And the thing is, right now that the world is so material, no woman, at least in the West, ideally, unless no woman, no, There are women that that's what they want. You want to be dependent financially on someone. The second, as a woman, you are financially dependent on someone. That person can manipulate you. When you stay, unfortunately, that's the world we live in. When you women are degraded when they go on maternity leave, coming back, people don't want to hire them, look at them like they are some sort of a crazy people, they have to manage the baby and the household and all of that, that doesn't count for anything. And it's hard as a woman to compete with that. And I don't think, I just think that overall society is set up on competition, and it comes out of ego. If we had, as a society overall, different values that are not about ego and competition, this is why how the society is driven, we would have a different balance in our lives. And maybe, women wouldn't be threatened that they have to be in a position that, if I, let's say, want to have a baby, I feel like I need to have my own place and I have to have enough money to secure me for, let's say, 2 years. So I can have a baby, because everything is super expensive. And that is where women want to take their quote unquote power, because the second you give in the power, sometimes there can be also aggressive and violent, and you may end up with someone without any resources. There is a Netflix series on, what it was like. It was about this elite model look like Cher, that escaped her Orthodox Jewish life. Have a look. And she had to, how do you rebuild yourself? What do you do when you strictly do not agree? Someone is abusing you. You're left at no resources. It's a very, very risky and vulnerable place to be a woman. I'm not too sure if, let's say, I think I'm speaking to most male audience, but you need to realize that this is, at least, I don't know, India. Here, I'm not talking about India. I'm talking from strictly my perspective of how I see things in the Western part of things. But you're scared. You're scared. The divorce rates are high. People don't talk. People don't give up on each other. It's very, insecure. When you are a woman and when you are supposed to be in a motherhood, you really need to have a safe, secure place, and you need that man, exactly what she was talking about, to be a man, but only the right man is able to that works on themselves, that is able to be kind but also strong, and is able to show grace and be able to bring out the best in you, is definitely able to, what she said, that this is where women then surrender. But it's not through the manipulation. That's through a powerful self-work of a man on themselves, and the understanding who they are, what is them for, etc. Gosh, I'm blabbing. Let's continue.
Biologically, you feel like, all right, now I feel safe to do what I'm meant to do.
Can we break down the right man thing a little bit better?
Yeah, sure.
That's how I figured, how to be better as a guy.
Okay.
Through questions like this.
Okay, so first of all, you as a man needs to tap into your masculine energy. Let's start there, because I feel like our society right now, with what's going on, a lot of the factors in our environment have led to men losing their masculine energy, which is a problem for us women who are looking for men with masculine energy, right?
An easy way of quantifying this, not quantifying, or an example of this would be guys not taking care of their fitness.
There you go, maybe. Okay, that's one thing.
What else?
Okay. Masculine energy comes in different forms, right? It could be physical, it could be emotional, it could be mental, right? You can take care of yourself physically and go to the gym and you look like a man with great masculine energy, but here it's zero. And if here it's zero, you can't provide me anything. So masculine energy, the one I'm talking about, where you become someone who can hold a house down, who can have a family, who can become a provider, you have to change the way you think. You have to be ready to be a provider. You have to be ready to be a supporter, and you have to be ready to take the protective role in the society. A lot of men don't want to do that anymore.
You see that with guys?
No, not anymore. A lot of men don't want to do that anymore.
They don't want to take care of a family, and they don't want to provide.
They don't. A lot of men now have also been brainwashed in the feminism era, who are like, oh, all right, cool. You want equality? All right, let's be equal in everything. Let's be equal in the protection department, in the providing department, in the home, in the emotional department. Now men want to compete with women in everything, which is wrong. I think everyone needs to play their role. If a man can work on being more of a provider and more of a protector, the women then need to focus on being more of the nurturers. Everyone brings something to the table. So if you're bringing to the table money, food, shelter, I need to bring to the table kids, being a mother, taking care of the house, cooking, etc., etc. Because if we're both bringing the same thing to the table, then who's going to bring the other stuff? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But this is, of course, a very old school traditional way of thinking. But I believe in this, and I think it's coming back. And they see that how crazy the world is, and they get older and they become more mature and they see life experiences. They start to realize what's more important. They start to realize what role they want to play, what they're more happier doing. They start to be more in touch with their hormones, with what biology says, right? There's one thing what the TV says, what the society says, and then what your body and what your chemicals and your system is telling you. Our system tells us to be nurturers, whether we like it or not.
Fake.
I am going to pause it now because we're running a little over time. I feel like I kept blabbing through the entire time. I find this conversation truly fascinating, and I think I couldn't agree more with her. The crisis of masculinity is definitely there. I think it's just when he's looking for traits, it's just being able to stand in your power. I know that Louise House has written a book, the Book of Masculinity. Obviously, I did not read that. It's kind of for men, but yeah, the whole what she's mentioning, equality, for example, in northern countries in Europe, everything is like very, very equal. If you're Swedish, everything is equal. But like, how can it be equal? Let's say when you're a mother and you cannot sleep, like that is the thing I think that we lost, at least in the West, is the balance. And I think there is a lot of ego. And again, we're going back to the ego, because it feels like now it's like one needs to be better than the other. And I feel like when I had a conversation with my parents, it didn't used to be like that. It didn't matter who made more money or not. They were just marrying because they loved each other. And they decided to make that commitment. Now it's not like that anymore. You have to protect yourself because you never know what happens. You never know what people's intentions are. And it is very sad at the state of society that we are kind of men become. I just feel like sometimes maybe a bit more feminized in a way, which is a bit, for example, for me, I can't stand, I don't deal well with men that have long hair. For me, it is such a turn off. You can't even make it up. So, some women love long hair, and some men are, I feel like it is hard for them to find a balance because of that movement that she's mentioned before, and to know their role and where they stand. And because society makes us compete with one another these days, at least in the West, where what we should be doing, we should be balancing each other's out. And that is where I'll leave it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a part 4 of the video. And if you like this video, please give a thumbs up, share, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye.